So we will start now. So today in session 4 is about theory of 2D meshing and 2D geometry editing. Now we are done with 1D meshing and 1D geometry and 1D problem statements. So now we will move towards 2D meshing and 2D geometry editing, and then we will see 2D problems. So recap of session 3, we have learned that how to perform pre-run analysis to check connectivity of the CAD model. So we have done free run analysis on the Bahar rule cage, and I have provided the Supra rule cage for homework. I hope you have completed your homework. So now we will start with session number 4. So in session number 4, we will learn theory of 2D meshing, when to use 2D elements, why the 2D meshing is carried out on mid surface, 2D element shapes, how to make, how not to mesh and how to mesh, element quality, how to import CAD file in design model. This is we have learned already in previous session. How to delete specific surface to clean up geometry using face delete option, how to generate the mid surface using mid surface option, how to create new surface from surface patch option, how to merge different surfaces using merge option, and then how to create new surfaces and how to create new part having the all the surfaces. This is all about today's session. So let's start. So we will see first 2D meshing. So when to use 2D elements, as we see in 1D element, in 1D problems, when we use 1D problems, when only one dimension of that component or the product is very large compared to the all the other components, all the other dimensions. So same in 2D elements. 2D elements are used when two of the dimensions are really large in comparison to the third dimension. When the two dimensions of the component is very large compared to the third, then we use 2D elements. The element shapes is quad and triad. So in 1D problems, we required additional data from user is cross section. So in 2D, the additional data user required from user is in dimensions such as thickness. We required the thickness as input. So the practical applications of 2D geometries are sheet metal parts, plastic components like instruments, panel, etc. So here you can see one square part which have the mid surface, which shown the mid surface, and the thickness of plate is T. So here you can see the mid surface is exactly at the middle. That means the half the thickness is upside and half the thickness is at bottom. So that means the mid surface is created for that this geometry. So why each 2D meshing is carried out on the mid surface? Why the mid surface is required in 2D meshing? So here we the see the reason is quite often the geometry of the thin walled 3D structure is simplified to geometric model with lower dimensionality. Means if the we have to simplify the 3D geometry, then we use 2D structure. We convert it to the 2D by giving a mid surface or generating the mid surface to that body. This is typically called the mid surface model. The mid surface model is then meshed with 2D elements. Thus, there is no need for the detailed value mesh, which we done in 3D. So that will save our time and avoid the computational errors. So as the thickness of the geometry is virtually assigned to the 2D elements. So mathematically, the elemental thickness specified by users for 2D elements, we need to give the input as element thickness. So this assigned element thickness is goes to half in the positive direction. That means element top, and the other half is go to the negative direction. That means elements to the bottom. Here you can see the if we generated the mid surface for this square, this rectangle, then the half of the thickness goes to the up and half of the thickness goes to the bottom of that product. So here you can see there is one rod. So this is the cross section for that rod, and here you can see the wireframe model of that rod. So if we create the mid surface at this top line and then assign the thickness for that mid surface, then here you can see the geometry captured by that thickness is not correct. Here you can see the actual geometry is this one, and we created geometry uh, uh, assigned thickness is at the upper side. So this is the wrong method. So we have to generate the mid surface correctly at the middle. So that's why uh, this is necessary to occupy the all the geometry. So here you can see, if we created mid surface at middle, and if you give the thickness to that mid surface, then and then only that will consider all the geometry accurately. So here is the same example for the square, for the square plate. So here you can see the wireframe model of that plate. If you assign the thickness to top surface, so it will generate the thickness at top side, half at top side and half at bottom side. So this will not occupy the accurate geometry. So that's why we have to generate the mid surface at the middle and assign the thickness to that mid surface, so it can get correct geometry. So this is the example. So then let's move ahead. Type of the 2D elements. In meshing, there is two types of the 2D element shapes. One is tria, which basically means the triangle, and other is squad, which basically means the square or rectangle. So in tria, there is two types. One is primary, which contains three nodes, and the secondary, which contains the six nodes. So same in quad. Here you can see there is only four nodes, and here is eight nodes in secondary. So shape stiffness. This is the important concept in meshing. If we give, as we see, the tria and quad elements, this is the basic two shapes for the 2D elements. So in meshing, the triangular shape has more stiffness. That's why this will show the lesser deformation in analysis. If you apply the same force here, let's say 100 Newton, we applied the 100 Newton force at this triangle at top point, and for the square also we apply the 100 Newton force at this point. So the triangular shape will give the lesser deformation compared to the square one, because the triangular shape has more stiffness. So that's why that's why in meshing the recommended element is a quad. So that's why the quad mesh is considered as a better meshing in the professional level. So this is the reason we try to mesh in quads. So how not to mesh? So as I say earlier, the quad mesh is considered as a good quality mesh. So back to back triangle should be avoided. If there is a two tria elements should not be connected to each other directly, because tria elements gives the lesser deformation. If there is a two tria connected back to back, then there is a definitely the much lesser deformation uh, compared to the one tria. So we must try to minimize the number of trias in the meshing. So uh, no mesh transition on constant radius fillet or curvature. The mesh transition should be carried out on the planar surface. So here you can see the curvature part is there, but at this point there is no proper geometry is considered, or geometry is occupied by the meshing. So we have to uh, uh, consider the meshing transition. So avoid tria elements on outer edge or the holes. So we have seen that we have to avoid the tria elements at the stress concentration point. So basically the edges and holes are the stress concentrate points. So we have to avoid the tria elements at that points. So the hole should be molded carefully with the washer. Here you can see there is a hole. So in surrounding to that hole, we have to generate all the chord elements. That means this is the washer. So that washer diameter must be 1.5 to 2 times the diameter of the hole, and the minimum of two layers of the element should be created around the hole. So we get the accurate results. Next, the hole should be modeled with an even number of equal spaced elements. So here you can see the equal number of elements is gives the better result. So for that, for better representation of the whole geometry and smooth mesh flow lines, hole should be molded with an even number of elements like 6, 8, 12, and 16, rather than 5, 7, 9, and 30, because of the flow of the mesh. So it will shows the better results because of the smooth mesh flow. So element quality and check, this is the important concept in meshing. So we will see it. The element quality is subject often talked about the never fully understood. The reason for this is complex but is related to the fact that quality is related and solution by definition is approximate. In the formulation of finite element, a local parametric coordinate system is assumed for each element type and how well the physical coordinate system, both elements and global, match the parametric dictates elements quality. Below you see some graphical representation element quality and you should attempt to follow them. You will see the graphical representation of the element quality. However, there will be a point dimensioning written if you try too hard to get every element within the acceptance criteria. Your judgment is your only guide to this case. The element qualities come by the experience. If you solve more and more problems, then you will know more about the element quality and how to check the element quality parameters. So always perform a quality check on the meshes you create. Check with local experts regarding the appropriate value for each element type required by your element checking computer programs. Be aware that in this situation, correct answer can vary great deals, as illustrate the following table where the range between okay, very poor, and quite and white. Here you can see the element quality and its checks. So the best in for tri elements, the best is to the best shape is here. You can see the with the 60-degree angles, and for quartz the 90-degree angle is best. So this here you can see the okay elements and here you can see the very poor elements. So this is very poor because it is not it will not give a smooth mesh flow, and also it will not give the correct deformation or and stresses. So the best is this one. So now we will see the element quality, how to check the element quality, and that the parameters for that. So first parameter is warp angle. The warp angle is out of plane angle. So this warp angle is not applicable for triangular elements because the triangular elements can be go out of plane. So the ideal value for the warp angle is 0 degree. It is defined as the angle between normal two planes formed by splitting the chord element along the diagonals. The maximum angle of the two possible angle is represented by the warp angle. So the next is aspect ratio. So the aspect ratio's formula is maximum element edge length divided by minimum element edge length. Here you can see the maximum length of the element, and here you see the minimum length of the element. So ideal for the aspect ratio is 1. The next is Jacobian. In simple terms, the Jacobian is scale factor arising because of the transformation of the coordinate system. Elements are transferred from the global coordinate system to the local coordinate system, defined at the centroid of every element for fast analysis time. So, in analysis, the every element goes to the global coordinate system to the local coordinate system. So that's why there is some transformation factor. So that is known as the Jacobian. Here you can see this query is transferred to the this shape. So the ideal value for the Jacobian is 1 and acceptable value is greater than 0.6. Included angles. So included angles we have seen in this chart. This is the for tria the best included angle is 60 degree, and for chord it is 90 degree. So the next 2D process for any CA software. So for solving any 2D element problems, this is the steps. So first is the theory of 2D elements and the element quality check. So we have to do the element quality check, then go to the geometry editing, and after geometry editing the meshing, and after the meshing performing elements quality in software. This means if you first you have to know the theory of the 2D elements and how to check the element quality, then edit the geometry as per your problem statement, then mesh the problem, and after meshing the component you have to check the element quality. You have to perform the element quality check in software. So in CA process, this is the you have to know for every problem statement this is the this process is followed. So first is pre-processing. What pre-processing means, the importing the geometry or the creating the geometry, then the meshing, then giving the material, adding the properties, loading conditions, and assigning the type of analysis. So this is the first step in CAE process: pre-processing, and then solver, and then post-processing. So in pre-processing, we use the design modular and mechanical window. So for the design modular, we have seen that we use geometry, importing the geometry, or uh, creating the geometry. Then in mechanical, we mesh the components, we assign the materials in mechanical, we give the properties in mechanical, loading conditions and type of analysis also done in mechanical. So the solver, the solver used in is ANSYS. And the post processing, the last step is post processing, viewing the control of stress and displacement, view the graph. This is known as the, that means we have to give what we required as output in the post processing. This we done in mechanical. So this is the basic of C. This is the CAE process. The steps we followed in CAE. So now we will move to 2D geometry editing. So this is the component we will see for the 2D geometry editing and creating the mid surface. And then we will do free run analysis to check the mid surface is connected or not. So let's start with this problem. We will go to the mechanical first. So in toolbox here, we have used the static structurer and model. Today we will see different one. The in component system, you can use only geometry. Here you can see the geometry. We will play within the geometry only. So after editing and creating mid surface, we will do model analysis. Then we will add the model analysis to this geometry. So first we will edit the geometry and create the mid surface. Now I will go to the new design modular. Now we will import the geometry. For that, go to file, then import external geometry file. We will import the material and then generate. Now you can see the geometry which is in 3D. Here you can see the 4 parts and 4 bodies. This is the solid. This means it is a 3D component. So firstly we will edit it and then we will convert to the 2D. So first we will see the deleting the face, how you can delete the face. So here these 3 surfaces you see, that is only for aesthetic views. There is no any purpose for these shapes in analysis. So we have to delete it. It is not necessary to have in analysis, because it will take more time to the mesh and in analysis also. So we will delete it. So for deleting this surface, first we will go to the create. Here you can see the delete option. So for that there is a 3 delete options. One is body delete, face delete, and edge delete. So we will delete face. This is the face, so we will select the face delete. And now I will select the all faces which we have to delete. I will select all faces at once. So for that you have to press the control and start selecting. Okay, I have selected all the components. Okay, now here in details, apply. 15 faces are selected. So here below you can see the healing method. So let's talk about healing methods. Here you can see there is four options you can select. First is automatic, the second is natural healing, then patch healing and no healing. So we will see all these methods in detail. So first is automatic. For face delete, here is one problem statement. Here you can see there is one face is deleted in this model. So uh, healing method, first is automatic. We have seen the automatic. So this will first attempt natural healing. That includes an additional internal method that sometimes allows a smooth natural healing when the standard natural healing fails. Then if both of those fails, then patch healing is attempted. An error will only be reported if none of this method is succeeded. So that means that automatic method first try natural healing, then try the natural healing with some standard healing method. If both that fails, then it will try the patch healing, and if that also fails, then it will give the error. So we will see the natural healing. So here here you can see the natural healing. After giving natural healing, here you can see this model is converted to this one. That means this is the accurate way. So in natural healing, for this option, select the face such that upon removing those groups, the surrounding geometry can extend naturally to cover the wounds. Removed faces. If a suitable extension cannot be determined, the feature will report an error stating that it is cannot be healed. So that means in natural healing, it will consider the other or left the faces, which is remaining faces. So in natural healing, you can see here how it is work. You can see in this geometry. So in patch healing, this method takes the edge surrounding the selected face and tries to create the single face to cover the region. So that means the open area is filled by the surface by patch healing. Here you can see the results of the patch healing. And the no healing means it will not consider any healing. It will directly delete it as it is. So this is the four option. So I recommended you to try yourself all these four methods so that you can understand the difference between it. By practice, you can betterly understand definitely all the methods. So I will set it to the automatic, and then I will say generate. So now you can see the below surface is as it is due to it is tried the natural healing. So that's why they consider uh, the last surface, which is the here you can see this one. This is the last surface. This is as it is in natural healing. So we will move ahead. Mid surface. Now I will show you how to generate mid surface on 3D components. So for generating mid surface, there is option called mid surface in tools. Here you can see the mid surface in tools. So click on mid surface. First I will change the units to millimeter, and then I will go to tools and mid surface. So here you can see selection method. There is two selection methods. First is manually and the second one is automatically. In manual methods, you have to select by manually. You have to select face pairs by manually. Let's say I will select this face pairs. Okay, so I will give the selection tolerance at 0.1 mm first. Okay, now I can select the, here you can see this part is change the color to the purple, and then if I apply it, apply, then the mid surface is, and I will say generate. Here you can see only that parts is converted the mid surface. So that's how this is the work, the manual method. So now I will show you the automatic method. So in manual method you have to select the all the faces manually. So this is the manual method. Now I will show you the automatic method. So in both this method, in manual method and automatic method also, you have seen the these three tolerances, which is selection tolerance, thickness tolerance, and swing tolerance. Let's see what is this tolerances. So the selection tolerance, here you can set the allowable deviation from a perfect offset that is allowed during the phase pair selection, because allowing phase pair to the slightly off by this tolerance amount could resulting some phase pairs being off in one direction and other being off in opposite direction. Then the thickness tolerance, this property provides a tolerance so that the phase pair that are the same distance apart along with those that are within the thickness tolerance of the distance can be grouped together. And the last is swing tolerance. During the creation of the mid surface, internal surface are created from each phase pair selected. These are the trimmed to other surfaces and then swing together with other surface of the same thicknesses to attempt to form as few surface bodies as possible. However, there are sometimes small gaps between those individual surfaces. This tolerance specifies the maximum gap that can be closed by swing process. Normally, it is not necessary to change this tolerance. However, if you find there are small gaps in resulting body, this may be increased to a point where the gaps gets closed. Note that using too large swing tolerance can lead to slots or openings getting filled when they should not. Very large tolerance can result in strange results and should be avoided. So this is all about that three tolerances. So I have set the selection tolerance to 0.1 mm. So we will see now the automatic method. Here you have see the option bodies to search. So bodies to search means which body you have to select. So here you can see the visible bodies and selected bodies and all bodies. I will set to it all bodies. So in automatic method, there is two more options added. One is minimum threshold and the second is maximum threshold. So let's see what is it. So in minimum threshold, this sets to minimum distance allowed between phase pair during automatic detection. Also, only values greater than 0 are allowed. In maximum threshold, this sets to maximum distance allowed between phase pairs during automatic detection. Also, only values greater than 0 is allowed. That means the minimum threshold is minimum thickness we have to find, and maximum threshold says the maximum thickness we have to find. That means this thickness, what is the minimum thickness we should capture and what is the maximum thickness that have to capture, the values we should define in minimum threshold and maximum threshold, and this all three is the tolerance for that thresholds. So let's say minimum is 1 mm and maximum we set to 5 mm. And here you have see the extra trimming option. Extra trimming option, there is a delete untrim, intersect untrim with bodies, intersect all with bodies, and no extra trimming. In delete untrim, there is a there if there is any body trim, then it will be get deleted. In intersect untrim with bodies, intersection is untrimmed with the body, and intersect all with bodies is all the bodies is intersected, and no extra trimming means there will be no any trimming. So I will set it to no extra trimming. The preserve body, so preserve body means if we in this method we will get the mid surface. After getting the mid surface, the solid bodies you have to preserve or not. If I say to the no, then all solid bodies is get deleted. If I say to yes, then this bodies also get preserved and the mid surface is also generated. So I will set it to the yes, and then I will go to find face pairs now to yes. I will say it to yes. Now the three faces are get. Here you can see the face pairs are three face pairs are selected. First one is this, then this is a rib, and the this one is. But you can see these two components is not get selected. Why this is? Because of the maximum threshold. The thickness of this element is more than 5 mm. So let's increase this thickness to 10 mm and say find face pairs to yes. Now you can see this face pairs is also get selected. Now I can say generate. So here you can see the surface bodies which is generated. So I will, for hiding these solid bodies, you can hide the solid body or you can suppress the solid body to see the mid surface. Just click that solid bodies and then right click and suppress bodies. Then all these bodies are suppressed. So in mechanical also there would be no any part of the solids. So because you have suppressed it in design modular. So here only the mid, you can see the only the mid surface. So if you observe the mid surface clearly, there is a gap between these two surface. Also here at the bottom you can see the gap here. Here is the gap and here is the big gap after generating the mid surface. So I hope you have get how this gap is created, because we have generated the mid surface. So the half of the thickness is got deleted, so only mid surface is stays here. So that's why we get the gap between these faces. So we have to fill this gap. So let's say we have to join the faces. So for that there is one command called weld. So go to the tool and select weld option. So in weld you can see it requires edges and faces to weld. So I will show you here. Here is the gap. So to fill that gap I will select this edge, say apply, and face as this and say apply. So here you can see the thickness mode. So thickness mode is inherited and user defined. So what is thickness mode is? Inherited means the thickness for the weld, it gets as a the base part of base parts thickness. That means the what is the thickness of the uh, faces, the what is the thickness of that face, it will get assumed as a thickness for the weld. So in user defined you have to define the thickness for weld. So in inherited the face thickness is assigned to the weld. So I will say it to the inherited, and weld type is continuous. So then I will generate it. So now you can see the one surface body is created here. So I will do same at the bottom. Go to the tools, select weld, select these two edges, say apply, select this bottom piece, say apply, and thickness mode is inherited and say generate. Here you can see the surface body is created. For this also I will create the surface body, new surface body, by using weld option. So use tools, go to the welds, select all the edges. I will select all at once to save the time. Apply and faces. I will select this face and apply, and then say generate. Here you can see this is attached now. So all the mid surface is created now. Now let's see this for these gaps. This is also for aesthetic use. In the meshing, due to these gaps, there would be difficulties for the mesh in default feature. So that's why we will try to merge it in this surface. So for that we will merge it in these solids. So for that there is option that says the surface patch. So I will select the surface patch. We will fill it by the surface, and then we will merge it to the this base surface. So patch edges. So I have to select the edges for to generate the surface. So now I have to select all these edges. So there is lots of edges. By manually it will get more time. So I will change the selection to the box select. Then I will just draw one box. So all the edges in this box are get set, and I will say apply. And here you can see the healing method also. So I will set it to the automatic and then generate. Now you can see all the gaps is filled with the surface body. Still there you can see there is a edges as it is. So we have to merge it. So go to the tools, go to the merge type, as I will change it edge to the face. We have to merge these faces. So select the faces. So I will change it the box selection to the single selection, and then I will select the all these faces and this one also, and I will say apply. Total 9 faces are selected, and I will say generate. So now you can see there is a plain surface. So our body is ready to check the connectivity. So we have seen the delete option. In geometry reading we have seen the delete option. So you have to understand the problem. You have to assume the stress concentration point, which part of the geometry is important and which we can delete to save the time in analysis. So we can delete that point. So for that we have to use the delete option, delete body, face delete, and edge delete. After deleting, we have created the mid surface. For that, in tools we have seen the option mid surface. For mid surface there is a two methods. One is automatic and the second is manual. So in manual method you have to select the manual faces by clicking you have to select the surface pairs. In automatic method, just you have to give the maximum threshold and minimum threshold. That means the minimum thickness and maximum thickness. uh, so you can create the mid surface. So after creating mid surface there is a gaps, because there is we remove the thickness, so there is a gaps between mid surface. So for fill that gaps we used the weld command. So weld command, the input is edges and faces. We have to select the edge and face, so we can generate the weld between that two. After connecting all the components, we have see the surface patch. If there is any gap, then we can use a surface patch option to fill it. After using surface patch, we have merged the edges. We have merged all the surface in one single surface. So our body is ready for free run analysis. Now I will generate one body, one body, and there is you can see there is a different surface bodies. The nine surface bodies are there. So I will create only one bodies and nine parts. So I have selected all the surface bodies, then right click and say from new part. Now here you can see the five parts, that this is one two, this solute parts is also considered. I can delete it, but I will stay as it is. And this one part and the other is all surface body. That means this is my one part and this is the other sub parts of that one part. So my model is ready. Then I will go to mechanical. So here is no mechanical, so I will show you how to attach it. So we will do free run analysis. So for that, drag a model analysis and go to the geometry and drop it. Now you can see the geometry is attached to the model. This is the way to connect the different types of analysis to each other. And say edit, go to the mechanical, for going mechanical. Here you can see the wireframe model. This is our model. This is the mid surface. So I will mesh it. This is the meshed body. I will go to analysis setting. You have know the inputs. We have seen the model analysis in previous lectures. So I will give the maximum modes to the 10, and I will say limit from 0 to 1000 hertz. And I will give output as a deformation total, and I will solve this model. Here you can see this is how my model is vibrating. So there is no any disconnectivity. That's why all component are moving in at the same time. So this is how we perform the model analysis. So in homework, I will provide you bracket. So you have to generate the mid surface for this model, then connect the mid surface by using weld command and perform the free run analysis. So in that's all about session 4. In session 5 we will see how to convert 1D line body or geometry to 2D surface geometry. So I will stop here. If you have any doubts or query, then you are free to ask.